you have full control, right? People think that things happen to them, conditions happen to them, the things in your life are not going the way that you want them to go because of just how things go, right? But what if you had full control over everything that goes on in your life, all the conditions, all the situations that you experience, all the people that you meet, the bad things, the good things, the everything, man. What if nothing was by chance, right? It's not, okay? And if you're not familiar with metaphysics and the conscious mind and manifestation and all that, you would think that it sounds like some woo-woo type stuff and there's no truth to it. But look, let me tell you, all right? This type of information, man, has been out for a while from Neville Goddard, from Charles Hannell, who wrote the Master Key System back in like 1908. You know, this information has been around for a while. So what I'm saying is not anything new. All right, and especially modern day science has confirmed a lot of this information about how things are created from the quantum field, right? Or how Neville Goddard said the fourth dimension, right? It's created from a world of the unseen. It's created from us closing our eyes, right, and visualizing things and creating things in our mind, and then through a process having these things manifest into our physical realm, right? But how exactly do we do that? It starts from the images that you have in your mind. It starts from your magnificent human imagination, which is pretty much God inside of you, okay? The thing about your imagination, okay, it works both ways, just like the laws of nature, right? Electricity, water, fire. These things are from nature, right? They are governed by natural laws. You could drown somebody with water, but it can also quench your thirst to give you life, right? You can burn somebody up with fire, right? Or you can use it to light your home, right? You can shock somebody or electrocute yourself with electricity, or you can use it to power a community. You know what I mean? You can use the laws of nature for good, or you could use them for bad, or for positive, or for negative, right? And at the end of the day, you're the one that decides what is good or bad in your world. So when I say your imagination, right, most people use their imagination for bad or for negative. They're using their imagination to imagine things they don't want to create, right? They're using their imagination to focus on the negative things in their life, the conditions that they see that are present in their life right now. They imagine the things, and it's easy to do this, right? You see what's going on in your life, and it's not what you like. It's not what you want. It's not what you want to create. It's not it's not the life you want to live, right? So you see these things and you intake these things in with your five senses: your touch, smell, hearing, taste. You get this information and this data in from your five senses, right? And you think of images and mental pictures and videos inside of your mind, right? Which is your imagination, your imaging in your mental eye. You're imagining things that have already taken place or has not taken place yet that reconfirm what it is that you believe. So for let's just say you not being able to pay your electricity bill for the month is a negative for you, right? It's a bad thing, right? Most people would know that they don't have the money, right? So they would, in turn, think about the things that would happen when they're not able to pay the bill, right? The light's going to get shut off, right? Your kids isn't going to be able to watch TV. They're not going to be able to enjoy AC. You're thinking about the negative things. You're thinking about not being able to pay the bill, right? You're focusing your attention on not having the money to pay the bill, right? You're imagining in actuality, if you're getting to the point where you haven't paid the bill yet and it's due, right? And you're thinking about you not having the money at the moment, you not paying the bill. So now you're filling your mind of what's going to happen. What if I don't get the money for this? This is going to happen, right? This is going to happen. Oh man, I ain't going to be able to do this, right? And you're filling your mind and your consciousness with images in your mind of things that haven't really happened yet, but you're using it to think of the bad, worst case scenario, negative situations. You're imagining worst case scenarios in your mind, right? Not knowing and understanding that you imagining these scenarios are actually actually going to create a scenario like that in the future, right? By you imagining with those images in your mind and putting those negative images in your mind, they cause you to have certain feelings. If you think negatively, you're going to have a negative feeling. There's no way you can think negative or bad as you perceive it, right? And it's going to in turn give you a good, positive feeling. So if you're thinking negative, you're thinking bad, you're in turn going to feel negative, or you're going to feel bad. You're going to feel worried. You're going to feel stressed, right? You're going to feel in despair, right? You're going to feel these negative emotions. And by feeling these negative emotions, what we are actually doing with the human heart being so magnetic, more magnetic than the mind, you are actually drawing situations like that to you to feel those emotions again, right? You're impressing the subconscious mind with negative emotions. And what you're actually doing is setting yourself up to feel those emotions again, right? How the mind works and how the subconscious mind works is that when you impress emotions on it, it's going to give you more of what you are. It's going to give you more of what you feel. So if you're feeling negative, right, and you're feeling worried, right, and you are stressed, your mind's gonna be like, okay, cool. I like to picture the mind like a genie, right? A genie grants you wishes, right? It's whatever wish that you want. It doesn't really ask you, why, how, it doesn't ask questions. It just says, yes, it's so, right? Your wish is my command. Think of the subconscious mind as that. If you tell yourself that you're worried or you're stressed, right? Your mind is going to say, yes, you are. Your wish is my command, right? If you tell yourself that you don't know what you're going to do, I don't know which way to turn, right? Your subconscious mind is going to be like, yes, this is correct. Your wish is my command. You say you don't know, so we don't know, right? You tell yourself, whatever it is that you tell yourself, your inner conversation, right? That's what you're going to impress, especially when you add feeling onto that. When you add a emotion of stress or fear, right, or worry on top of the image that you have in your mind, right? You are impressing that upon your subconscious, and whatever is impressed must be expressed. So if you're thinking negative, at the end of the day, you're going to get more negative. If you're thinking about the problem, you're going to get more things that confirm the problem, right? More stress, more worry. You know what I mean? You're not thinking of the solution. You're not putting any mental energy into the solution. You're not imagining having the money for the bill. You're not imagining how it's going to feel when the bill is paid. You're not imagining the joy, the stress freeness that you would feel if the money was there to pay the electricity bill or whatever bill. And I'm just using that as an example. This goes into, this is anything. This is everything in life, right? Our human imagination is the main cause for all what's the word? All struggle, all suffering. All suffering is caused by your own imagination. And it might be hard to accept that if you've never heard that before, right? But at the end of the day, you are your own worst enemy. And I know you've heard that before, but it's true as far as you decide and keep yourself in a constant state of struggle, or you keep yourself in a constant state of happiness, of joy, right? It all depends on you, and it depends on what you imagine and what you feel. The images that you have in your mind are going to give you a certain feeling. So if those images are not positive, if those images are not productive, right? If they're not good, right? You're going to feel the opposite of that. If our imagination, if we can close our eyes, right? Check this out. Check this out. Close your eyes for me real quick, okay? With our eyes closed, I want you to imagine your vehicle that you drive right now. If you don't drive a vehicle, imagine a vehicle that you want to drive, okay? Imagine that vehicle. What color is it? All right, so you have the color of your vehicle in your mind right now. I want you, at the snap of my fingers, to change that color to purple. All right, change that color to green, right? Change that color to yellow, right? Change that color to red. All right, now come back with me. Do you see how we can close our eyes, right, and mentally see something, and we can instantly change it? We can instantly create in our mind's eye, right? So if we have this beautiful human imagination where we can imagine things, and if we know that what we imagine has something to do with what we actually experience in reality, right? If you don't know that, I'm here to tell you that is 100% truth. And there is a lot of evidence to back that up, right? You can read a book called, you can read The Master Key System by Charles Handel. You can read Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard, right? You can read Out of This World by Neville Goddard. You can read The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, right? You can read from these great teachers that have been talking about this type of material for a long time, right? What we imagine in our mind and what we put emotion on with that image is going to be created in our reality at the end of the day. So if we can use our mind to create images that are negative and they give us a negative result, why not use our mind to create images that are good and positive so they can give us a good and positive result? It doesn't really make any sense. The only thing is ignorance. The only thing is not knowing. The only thing is not believing that you can create the things and conditions and the situations in your life. If they are not what you want, it is not what you like, if you're experiencing things that are counter to what you want to experience, the first thing you must do is you must close your eyes and imagine something else. You must build mental images and video of something else inside of your mind, okay? With those images that you are building inside of your mind, feel them with all of your five senses, with your physical eyes closed and your mental eye open. You must feel it and feel it in your heart. You must be able to feel the situation, feel with your touch, smell with your smelling, hear with your ears, right? Taste. You have to embody all five senses in this mental image and mental picture that you formulate in your mind. This is the beginning of all change. You do not change the outside world by struggling to change the outside world. The outside world is a reflection of the inside world. Okay? You look into a mirror and you don't like the image, you can't change the image by manipulating the mirror. You must change what's going on inside. The first step to change anything in your life is going to start with the mind, and it's going to start by you closing and imagining something different than what you've been imagining. Maybe you've been consciously or unconsciously imagining something that you don't want and you don't want to experience. But the beginning of changing that is starting to imagine something different. You have to start imagining and putting different images in your mind so you can develop feelings for something else that you want to see and create in your life. That will in turn start the creation process to you manifesting that into your physical reality. All right. That's what it is. That's what it is at the end of the day. It all starts in your mind, right? In that imagination is kind of like a muscle. If you have not consciously been controlling your imagination and focusing on not imagining things that you don't want to imagine and things that you don't want to see in your world, it might take some time for you to get a hold of it, right? It's kind of like if you haven't been working out and you go to the gym. If you go to the gym and you pick up an 80-pound dumbbell and you haven't went to the gym in 2 years, your muscles are weak, right? That's going to be a lot of weight. You're not going to be able to hold it very long, right? Your imagination is like a muscle. And if you have this grand image, right, and you haven't built that muscle up, you might not be able to hold it. So you can start small, right? You can start small, or you can go big or go home. But at the end of the day, it is a practice. It is something that you have to do and continuously do over and over and over again, repetitiously, right? And you have to be able to bring your mind back on course when it starts to deviate, when it starts to think about negative things, when it starts to imagine negative things that could happen, and what ifs, and oh no's, and all those things. You have to be able to take your mind and focus it back on what you desire. Focus it back on what you want. Focus it back on the goal, the intention, right? That's what you must do. So yeah, man, this is just a quick video. I don't know how quick this video was, but I hope you got some value out of it, man. And if you need help with this type of stuff, man, book a consultation with me. I help people one-on-one be able to implement this in their personal, in their business lives, so they can create whatever desired reality they want to create, man. Hey, look, man, this your boy Rob Millionaire, man, and I am out of here. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one, man. Peace.